All right, so coming up, me and Alex Eves, filmmaker, we're working on a film where we convert a box truck into a kind of education center slash dwelling. Boxtruckfilm.com to check that out and potentially help us out. Right here, what I'm showing you is a speed sketch. Well, actually in real time, it only took about 12 minutes to sketch. Sped it up, it's about 4 minutes right here, but this is kind of the designer thought process I go through in a lot of the tree houses, tiny houses, or backyard studios that I build. This one's for some, I guess you could call them clients. It's for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, for a family, and they're looking for a particularly funky, bizarre tree house. We've gone through a couple designs, but this one is almost like a, I don't know, I've done a couple of these somewhat in this style, almost like a light-up Asian lantern. The requirements are, it's got to be spacious enough, it has to have a loft, which is what we're gunning for. A lot of natural lights and windows, some ventilation, but it also has to be, it's kind of challenging. They're in Connecticut, I'm in Massachusetts. They're about 2.5 hours away, so I'm trying to come up with something middle of the road, no pun intended, that's lightweight enough, can be prefabricated, built here in Massachusetts and carted in pieces, full wall pieces down there. So for that reason, it's narrow but tall, almost like a funky light up tower with a bunch of Tetris-like kind of shadow play shapes and framing that's exposed behind a clear wall of Tough-Tex polycarbonate. So this would stand about 11 or so feet tall, giving room for most adults to stand under the loft as you enter and move around. The loft would be, and again, this isn't to scale at all, so don't let it throw you. The loft would be behind that kind of closed-in area up there, where you see that window that would open, that little boxed-in tongue-and-groove section in the upper right-hand corner. Base of the treehouse would be maybe 6.5, 7 wide, runs about 8 feet deep or so, but about 11 feet tall. So we're going to throw in some bracing, some diagonal supports and structuring in that front wall, that lattice work, if you want to call it that, which also doubles as shelving. If you see my videos before, the idea is when this lights up at night, anything you put on that shelving, light radiates through the colored glass bottles, shows silhouettes of the toys, the He-Man action figures, the Pokemon, whatever, the bottles of Chianti, well, not in this case. And it looks really cool. During the day, you get a lot of natural light in reverse coming in, and it makes that small space feel quite a bit bigger. So these are things I'm trying to put and kind of work into this treehouse right here. It's only played off one tree, a maple. That's a good size one. So what I'm going to do is actually set a 4x4 post, or maybe 6x6 in concrete, and run like a double girder to that tree, but pin it in so it allows for movement, which you have to do when the tree sways. And beyond that, I'll either set 2 more posts, or I'm going to play off, or build off the tree with some knee bracing, depending on how I attach it. That remains to be seen. But the idea is to keep this rustic, modern, spacious. The roof is simple. It's a one-pitch shed-style roof. If I go, any higher with a gable roof, this thing's already getting ridiculousness, if such a word exists. At 11 feet tall and maybe 6 or 8 feet off the ground, you're looking at something that's approaching 20 feet high, which means I have to keep repositioning ladders, working at perilous heights, and it just takes that much more time. The budget's fairly meager on this one, so I'm trying to keep it, simple. Simplicity is the key. Oh, there was a quick peek of some other stuff I was working on. Other ideas for the same treehouse, but that were a little more elaborate. Just highlighting things here so it looks a little more definitive, bold. But the sides of it would be tongue and groove. We could also potentially have it like a wraparound clear display or window where you take this approach and actually put it on one of the other sides too. So the whole thing is like this lighthouse, this tower, where you can see inside it and in the reverse. At night, like I said, if you go to any of the other videos on my YouTube channel, chances are 1 out of 5 of the things you're going to watch shows tree houses or structures I've built with the clear Tough-Tex. Not because I've worked with them in the past, now they're sponsoring me, I'll be candid in that, but because I've used this stuff for years before that and it just works so well. It's light too. I have to keep this light. It is a tree house. Strong but light is the mission. It's not one easily achieved. I'm writing right there that I want to incorporate some stairs, easier than a ladder or a hatchway, which is bound to pinch fingers, but the stairs would certainly be important in this case, which I can put in before I build the rest of the structure. Easier for me to get up and down while building this darn thing. So that's the gist of it right there. Just the 12-minute sketch and thought process behind this particular simple yet unconventional, bizarre, funky, out there design. And I'm filming this to show the clients so they can hear my monotone voice explaining what I'm doing. That's me shading in, signifying the tough text there. But just so they can see it and understand what I'm trying to do. And for the rest of you as well. If we don't build this, there's some ideas for you.